All right, let's go, because you know what I came in to do.
I don't get paid for overtime. I'm here to fight.
So post-fight march after his Bogdan victory, Frazer Clarke called out Fabio Wardley. Soon after that, the following week, the British Boxing Board of Control called purse bids for the fight, which caught Ben-Shalom off guard. Frazer was adamant he wanted the fight. Then Ben let us know this.
And there's probably frustration from Frazer where he's like, you know what, why aren't I just jumping in that ring and doing it now? And so I think he's bitten a little bit there. I think the fight will happen. I really do. But it will happen when it's supposed to happen, and it will happen at the right time for Frazer and what we believe.
A bit of a worry though. If you do go on June 10th and, you know, Wardley might want to move on, is there a worry that, you know...
He totally undermined Frazer Clarke. And then we heard that Frazer was going to be on a Sky card on June the 10th. The purse bid is tomorrow, May the 10th. Now, I read up on the ruling recently. When the purse bids are sorted out, a location and date is set. You cannot have a fight 4 weeks before that date. You will forfeit your title shot as the challenger. Then Eddie Hearn, he replied...
So I said to Frazer Clarke, you've got two choices. You either pull out of June 10th and fight us, and if we lose the purse bid, fair enough. But Frazer Clarke's fighting on June 10th. So Robert Smith was like, yeah, actually it doesn't really work, does it? No, it doesn't work. So I said to Frazer Clarke, you've got two choices. You either pull out of June 10th and fight us, and if we lose the purse bid, fair enough. Or you fight June 10th and we fight somebody else, and then we'll fight you later on. But Frazer Clarke seems very vocal. Frazer Clarke wants to fight. I believe he wants to fight.
Yeah, so he's come out and said that he's happy not to fight on June 10th.
Not since the interview.
No, not since this interview, but as of last night.
What I want to know is, the interview we heard today was basically Ben-Shalom saying, we don't want the fight.
Now, if Eddie was planning to stage Wardley Clarke in July, and Frazer Clarke is fighting on June the 10th, they'd be pushing it pretty close with boxers. So the best thing would be for Ben to withdraw Frazer from the June the 10th card, because they'd be pushing it pretty close. You know, ideally, you'd want the promotion to run for 6, 7, 8 weeks perhaps, without the interruption of Frazer fighting in between the promotion. The fight is still up on BoxRec. The June the 10th fight for Frazer Clarke is still up there. They've even got the opponent listed. Then today on IFL, Frazer Clarke let us know, I don't know what is going on. He wants to fight, make no mistake about that. You've heard it from the horse's mouth. The purse bid is on Wednesday. It sort of leaves my control. I've let it be known to the people on my side of the table that I want the fight. Now what they do is up to them. You might be able to tell from my voice, you might not. But it's not been all positive this week, some of the conversations. But he wants to fight. He'd like to fully be supported by the people that are supposed to be supporting him. But at this moment in time, he's not sure whether that is going to happen. Does he mean he doesn't believe they're supporting him in terms of they're not going to go through with the purse bid, or they don't believe he can win the fight? There's Fabio Wardley replying to the post. Imagine your own promoter and team not having no faith in you. Well, either way, like, this story is just getting crazy, because we jump from that to this. Ben pipes up and offers Fabio Wardley career's highest payday to defend his British title against Frazer Clarke. Now, Ben has mentioned several times that Fabio is a free agent. So he's offering Fabio this huge purse before any purse bids can take place, which would obviously put a rift between Fabio and Eddie Hearn, who he's been working with his whole pro career. Does Fabio take the money? And if he doesn't take the money, does Ben still go through with the purse bid, knowing that he could lose the fight to DAZN? Because to me, I went from, oh, he's trying to protect Frazer, which he is, to a degree, which he is. They're trying to develop Frazer, and if Frazer gets beaten up, because he's pretty inexperienced as a pro compared to Fabio, then it's a difficult rebuilding job. I think they've already lost Parker. See, Ben is learning that he should never have let Parker out to BT to get battered by JOYCE. You know, you gave Parker out to BT before he generated any numbers or viewership or any finances for Boxer. That's a loss. Them figures have never been disclosed, but we know that Sky and Boxer broke the bank to get Frazer Clarke and Ben Whittaker on Sky ahead of Matchroom. And they ain't recouped that money back yet. No way. Neither of them have fought a 10-rounder yet. This way, if Frazer does get beaten by Fabio, at least it's on their platform. At least they're going to get some viewership from that. they get something out of it. Perhaps maybe a rematch clause so they can get Fabio back there again and Frazer gets a chance to redeem himself. But they definitely want the fight on Sky. They don't have 100% faith in Frazer, or they'd go ahead with the purse bid. I mean, they're talking in this Sky article, the largest purse for a British title fight in the history of British title fights. I don't know what the previous record is, but you know, went through the whole article. Ben saying it's a substantial offer, a career highest payday for Fabio, but Fabio has got the offer and he said, they offered me less than I got for my last fight. So where do we go from here? Ben saying, if he really wants to fight, he'd take the offer. Well, Fabio knows what he's getting paid, Ben. He's saying it's not a career highest payday. He got more for Michael Coffey. None too surprising, it was on the Anthony Joshua, Jermaine Franklin undercard, a sellout at the O2 Arena. So where do we go from here? Because to me, it looks like Ben don't want the fight to go on DAZN. Why is he so scared of the purse bid? And I think Frazer's thinking, why are you doing this? Why don't you just put a purse bid in, put in a big purse bid, and see if we can get it on Sky? You see, Sky, this journalism here, is garbage. You know, you're going to say Fabio Wardley offered career's high payday, but you're not mentioning he says it's not his career's highest payday. So that's a propaganda strategy when people see that, oh, they offered Fabio that and he didn't take it. Well, that's not the whole story, is it? And most people just don't have the attention span to read the whole article. I don't know what Ben's playing at here. Is he prepared to make himself look a jackass just not to risk Frazer? Because promoters should take the hit for the fighter. If they don't think the fighter's ready, they should take the hit. And perhaps that's what Ben is doing. Because how are you saying that it's a career highest payday for Fabio? And Fabio said no. What's happening with the purse bid tomorrow? What's happening? We will see. So what's Ben going to do? Is he going to stick by his assertion that it's a career highest payday for Fab? Fab's saying it's not. You know, if he's trying to do damage control for not risking Frazer Clarke, it's not looking good. The purse bid is tomorrow. Everyone's waiting for a purse bid, Ben. I'm waiting for a purse bid. I'm waiting for a purse bid. The boxing fans are waiting for a purse bid. Whether they support Frazer Clarke or Fabio Wardley, we're all waiting for a purse bid. Bottom line, that's what the board ordered, and that's normally the process for British title fights. Alright, let's move on. So, after Arnold Barboza pulled out of the Liam PARO eliminator for the IBF 140-pound title, which is currently held by Subriel Matthias, Barboza pulled out, then they were in the process of trying to find Liam PARO an opponent. It's unlikely Jose Ramirez was going to take him on for the lower end of the split. PARO then got a shot at Regis Progress, newly recruited to Matchroom, PARO being a Matchroom fighter as well. The WBO have decided to hold off the elimination process for a little while and regroup and see how it plays out, I guess, with Jose Ramirez and Arnold Barboza being on top rank. Shouldn't be too hard to work out. And obviously, there'll be no need for a purse bid. Here's what I'm wondering, looking at 140, is how is Sandor Martin feeling right now? He's ranked number 1 for Regis Prograis' title, but yet Liam PARO's getting the shot. Now, in this ranking here, I don't know if they've updated it, Liam PARO's not even ranked by the WBC. He's not even ranked. PARO got the shot over Martin and Catterall, both Matchroom fighters, both ranked in the top 10 by the WBC. Strange. Well, Joe Joyce has activated his rematch clause. There was talk that, you know, he was going to take an interim fight and then perhaps visit the ZHANG fight down the line, which seemed to open a door for a ZHANG Fury fight. ZHANG's manager, Terry Lane, has warned Joyce he was risking his career by stepping in with Big Bang again and perhaps getting another sustained beating. Well, what's the truth? He's, 37 now? He has to go for it. Doesn't have much choice. What are his options? He probably thought to himself that he's not going to let ZHANG fight Fury for the world title while he's been at Queensbury for how long? And hasn't sniffed a shot at a belt yet. He's probably thinking he'd rather risk taking a beating than let ZHANG get the shot of Fury, and he's not even a Queensbury fighter. Frank's just got a couple of options on him. But what's the truth? You know, unless he catches ZHANG early with something, he takes a beating. If the rematch takes place this year, is there enough time for Joyce to learn the subtleties of the game, defense, getting his head off the line? But that's boxing. You got to go into precarious situations, and that's what Joyce signed up for. Hughie Fury, he believes he's a 19/20 stone killing machine now. He's filled out now. And he said he'd knock out AJ, big stiff. He said he'd knock out Wilder as well. Well, it's easy to say that. They're not looking for Hughie Fury. Why don't you call out Jermaine Franklin, who took Joshua the distance? Why don't you call him out? Why don't you call out Otto Wallin, who took your cousin the distance? Call out Martin Bacoli, who knocked off Tony Yoka. See if you can get them fights. And let's see how you do. There's no one, even Peter Fury, there's nobody talking up a Hughie Fury, AJ fight or a Wilder fight. Nobody. You need to aim a little more realistically. And then go for them fights. That's if you get through them fights. I mean, I took a poll the other week, and it was only 96 votes, to be honest, yeah? Only 96 votes. I'm asking, after Hughie said that he'd knock out the big stiff AJ, I said, no, we have to set the bar lower. I asked, who would win a fight out of Jermaine Franklin and Hughie Fury? 81.3 voted for Jermaine Franklin. I know it's only 96 votes. I would normally get a bigger sample number in a poll if I do them on the community page on YouTube, and that's where I'll do them from now. But it would have been no different on the YouTube community page. Probably would have been higher, right? 81.3 think he would lose that fight. And that's where you need to set the bar. He might think he's past the British level, but he's not. He's got beaten every time he stepped up. Povetkin, Pulev, Parker, all of whom AJ has beat. He might think he's past British level because he once won the British title. That doesn't mean he's past it. When he won the British title, that was in 2018 against Sam Sexton. And that was a past it Sam Sexton. He won the British title in his next fight after losing to Hughie Fury. Fabio Wardley is more than a credible fight for Hughie Fury. He might think he's beyond that, but he should be aiming at these type of fighters. Carlos Takam, Makhmudov. Doesn't he still have Michael Hunter business to attend to? It was him who pulled out the fight. Reschedule that fight. I get it. You know, he's trying to do a little bootleg impersonation of his cousin. You know, a bit of publicity because empty mouths don't get fed. Fair enough. I was on Twitter, man, and I see Calix D-Style and Michael Montero celebrating Charlo's 700th day of inactivity. And I was like, that's crazy, man. That's crazy. And there it is. He hasn't fought since the 19th of July, 2021. And a few people have asked me to bring back the milk carton. And no disrespect to anyone who's used the milk carton in boxing.
But we all know I hit it first.
So it's only right that we get JERMALL CHARLO on that milk carton. There he is. 32-0, 22 knockouts. And the WBC refused to mandate Carlos Adames for his long overdue title shot. Refused to do that. Refused to strip CHARLO. Even though Adames absolutely wiped the floor with Montiel, who gave CHARLO a surprisingly hard fight. You know, a lot of these fanboys, they would tell you that so-and-so is boring, that's why they can't get fights. Well, Carlos Adames is not boring. He's not boring. Just too many politics, man. Too many politics. He's lashed out and he's called JERMALL CHARLO a coward. The WBC are a disgrace.
But then again, I thought you knew.
I can't celebrate this. But I know this country. I know this strange country and its eccentric tastes. I know this country. Somehow this is going to work. If they do it, somehow it's going to work. Yep, you heard it. Fight Zone with Dennis Hobson are negotiating a pay-per-view between Derek Chisora and the Doncaster De La Hoya, Dave Allen. Now the talks are at a very preliminary stage. Dave Allen, 31 years of age, 21 wins, 5 losses, 2 draws, 18 inside the distance. Derek Chisora, 33 wins, 13 losses, 23 knockouts. Now, Fight Academy is actually Dennis Hobson's company, but the fights themselves are streamed on Fight Zone, which up until now has been available for free to maximize exposure. But check this out, they've recently done a deal with the BBC, yes, with the BBC, which will allow their cards to also be seen on BBC's on-demand service, iPlayer. The flexibility of Fight Zone allows us to do a pay-per-view event, Hobson said. We can build that up and do the pay-per-view on Fight Zone. The finances for Chisora versus Allen would only be achievable via a pay-per-view on Fight Zone and by sharing build-up content and the like with bigger platforms. Hobson believes the necessary buys to fund the show can be reached through the additional reach. I am curious to see how it works and to see if they can even make a minor success out of it, which I believe they will. I believe they will make a minor success out of that because Dennis, you can see how he's thinking already. I'll let IFL have a lot of the shoulder programming. I'll let ID, Boxing News. I'll let Sporting Icons. I'll let Stamina for Sale. Let them have all the access they want to the boxers, the trainers, to Dennis himself, and they'll build the event that way, which is very cost effective. If they can get some of the shoulder programming on the BBC, on the iPlayer, that's excellent. At first I was thinking, wow, are they going to do the pay-per-view on the BBC iPlayer as well? No, I doubt it. I don't think BBC... Nah. Would they be able to do that since they charge for a license? Probably not. I think Fight Zone will handle the pay-per-view. And then, obviously, there's the pricing. I don't think they're going to do it at 20. It could be a cheap and cheerful 10 or 15 quid. Probably a tenner. To be fair on Dave and Derek. And I don't think they'll have an issue selling it either. You know, they're very popular amongst the British boxing fans, both of them. You know, they both got a bit of that, well, he's a little different about them, haven't they? So it'll be interesting. Derek's going to beat the crap out of him, isn't he? You better train, Dave. You better train for this one. I'm not going to laugh at it. If these TikTokers and YouTubers can put on pay-per-views all around the gaff, why can't these two?